Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Prior to calling the meeting to order, I'd like to ask members who call in by phone to identify themselves. As a reminder, if a member of the body is attending remotely but not at the location specified on the agenda, they may observe and comment as a member of the public but may not participate in any member discussion or voting of this body. Meeting of the Regional Council is now called to order. I'd like to call Ray Marquez to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ray. Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum agenda?
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We're holding this meeting in compliance with the Brown Act rules relating to telephonic and video conference meetings. The SCAG offices are open for members of the public to attend or participate in person. Instruction for providing public comment has been provided in advance and are also included in the agenda packet. Just as a reminder, to reduce background noise, please ensure your microphone is muted when not in use. I will now open the public comment period of this meeting. This is time for members of the public to offer comments for matters that are within SCAG's jurisdiction, but are not listed on the agenda. For comments related to items on the agenda, I open the floor for public comments as we take each item. Staff have received any written public comments after the deadline of 5 p.m. on Wednesday, April 3rd.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. We have received those comments. There were 5 received about the Connect SoCal item on your agenda before the deadline. 68 comments were received on the REAP item before the deadline. All of those comments have been posted on the SCAG website and provided to members of the RC by email.
Thank you. There's a need to prioritize agenda items. Mr.
No, why?
Ruben?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. With your permission and the commission's indulgence, I would like to suggest that we group some items on the agenda and reorder for efficiency's sake. You will need to take action on item 2, which is certification of the EIR for Connect SoCal. That is required to maintain the integrity of the administrative record. Item 1 is my item on the nomination of officers for the 2024-25 SCAG year. Items 1 and 3 can be combined with the consent calendar for one single vote without objection from the commission, from the council. And then item 2 would be considered at the end of those items.
Okay, is there any objection to doing that from members of the body?
Oh, I apologize, right? Mr. Chizzy just reminded me. We cannot act on item, right? We cannot act. We must act on item 2 first before we take the action on the consent calendar. I apologize.
Okay.
So with your permission, Mr. President, I would suggest we start with item number 2.
Okay, well, item 2, certifying the final program environmental impact report.
Sorry.
What?
I was going to move the item, but I can wait.
No, not yet. Needs a presentation. Do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on item 2?
So, Mr. President, we do have a raised hand by Richard Lambros.
Okay.
And also
Mathis, go ahead.
Richard Lambros.
Mr. Lambros?
All right, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Thank you. Rich Lambros here today on behalf of the Southern California Leadership Council, as well as a number of partners in the SoCal Business Coalition. We wanted to come today to express strong support for adoption of the Program Environmental Impact Report for Connect SoCal 2024. And we also wish to express support for the adoption of the final plan, Connect SoCal 2024, which is before you as item 3 on your agenda. It's been a long process, but we want to express also our appreciation to SCAG staff leadership, as well as staff across the board, and certainly the regional council for a really robust stakeholder process, for taking the time to listen to diversity of views and to really incorporate into the plan a number of what we believe are important additions for regional business and economic benefit. The plan has $750 billion, as you know, over a 25-year horizon for transportation improvements, $63 billion for goods movement infrastructure enhancements, which are definitely needed in our region, significant job creation, and a 2-to-1 cost benefit, meaning the benefits of the plan outweigh by $2 every $1 spent for plan implementation. Those are just some of the many benefits that we have identified in the plan. And again, want to express our strong support and our appreciation to SCAG, and we certainly urge your adoption today. You'll hear from some other business partners as well, who also are on the line today to express similar views. Thank you, and we look forward to the plan's approval and to our continued opportunities to work with SCAG.
Thank you, sir.
Next is Alyssa Diaz.
Good
You're on mute.
afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Alyssa Diaz, Senior Public Policy Manager at the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber wishes to express our appreciation to SCAG staff for its openness during hearing the suggestions from the business community and all other stakeholders. The Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, which has over 1,400 members of all sizes from 35 industry sectors, including small businesses in the LA region, supports the Regional Council's approval of the certification of the final program environmental impact report, and also support the final RTP as presented by staff later today. The Chamber's mission is to design and advance opportunities and solutions for a thriving regional economy that is inclusive and globally competitive. And this plan perfectly aligns with our mission and our goals for system-wide and regional solutions that promote equity through transportation, construction and access to workforce housing, workforce expansion opportunities, and the expansion and improvement of goods movement infrastructure and systems. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Chris Wilson.
Good afternoon, Chair and Council members. My name is Chris Wilson with the Los Angeles County Business Federation, known as BizFed. Our membership supports the certification of the program EIR in addition to the final RTP SCS as presented by staff today. We want to thank the Regional Council and staff for helping us get to this point. In short, this connects SoCal supports greater housing production with the assurance of local control to better access local needs and concerns. This will further help us in achieving our housing goals and help assure that more of our working population can receive access to home ownership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Next is Nairi Bagdasarian.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nairi Bagdasarian, and I'm the Director of Public Policy for the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. I want to first and foremost thank the SCAG staff for literally everything in terms of putting this together, and their openness and dedication to ensuring that there is a comprehensive plan and connectivity with so many stakeholders. Therefore, the partnership supports the Regional Council's approval of the certification of the final program EIR, and we also support the Connect SoCal 2024 as presented by staff. Just again, thank you so much for everything and putting this together. We full-heartedly look forward to the economic and workforce positive impacts from this, and thanks again.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Amy Peak.
Good afternoon. I'm Amy Peak, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the Rebuild SoCal Partnership. The partnership consists of nearly 3,000 contractors throughout Southern California and more than 90,000 union workers in all 12 Southern California counties. The Rebuild SoCal Partnership supports the Regional Council's adoption of the final PEIR and the adoption of the final RTP SCS as presented today. The partnership also wants to express our appreciation for the hard work that took place at SCAG to move this comprehensive plan forward. The partnership is dedicated to working with elected officials on the continued need for essential infrastructure funding to create jobs and drive our economy forward. The partnership sees how Connect SoCal plan invests in important infrastructure enhancement that will drive the economy, drive economic development and create jobs. Thank you.
Next speaker, Dan Silver.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Dan Silver with Endangered Habitats League. Appreciate the opportunity to comment on SoCal Connect. We support the natural lands and farmland policies and those associated mitigation measures. The purpose of my comment relates specifically to the Regional Advanced Mitigation Program, or RAMP. SCAG has talked about implementing the RAMP for many years. As you know, the RAMP allows state and federal agencies to consider the environmental impacts and mitigation needs of infrastructure projects comprehensively in advance and early in project planning. This is advantageous to everyone involved. The RAMP was previously a mitigation measure in the 2020 SoCal Connect. In this cycle, it's elevated to a planned feature. Yet, there still isn't a start date for implementation of the RAMP. The only way for the RAMP to work properly is to front load the mitigation and do things at the beginning rather than at the end. So it really isn't advanced mitigation unless SCAG gets this thing up and running. When can we anticipate that the RAMP will be elevated to actual completion? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next is George Boutros.
Hi, hello. Thank you and good afternoon, SCAG Regional Council and staff. My name is George Boutros and I'm the Government Affairs Manager at Orange County Business Council. OCBC serves Orange County's diverse business community, working with public agencies and academia to ensure the county's long-term economic vitality and high quality of life remains on track. Orange County Business Council supports the Regional Council's approval of the final Regional Transportation Plan Sustainability Community Strategy, or Connect SoCal 2024, as presented by staff today. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the staff for their hard work to make this plan as comprehensive as it is, and for being open to hearing feedback from several stakeholders, including the business community. There are many reasons why OCBC supports Connect SoCal 2024, namely its incredible impact on our workforce, the plan's generation of more than 480,000 annual new jobs over the 25-year horizon of the SCS, thanks to the plan's transportation investments and improvement regional competitiveness. Fostering continued economic growth in Orange County requires a capable workforce that sustains and enhances growth and development. Orange County is one of the most economically competitive and prosperous regions in the world. Maintaining this competitive edge requires an intense commitment to preserving and enhancing a positive business climate in an evolving and increasingly volatile global economy. Orange County Business Council supports today's Connect SoCal 2024 plan as presented by staff today, and we ask that you support this plan as well. Thank you for your time and consideration on this matter.
Thank you, sir.
Last speaker, Carlos Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, members of the Regional Council. My name is Carlos Rodriguez. I'm speaking on behalf of the Building Industry Association of Southern California to urge our strong support of the PEIR as well as Connect SoCal. I want to take a moment to thank the staff and also the SCAG leadership for its openness to hearing the suggestions from the business community and all other stakeholders and throughout this open and transparent process. We appreciate sharing our belief that the RTP-SCS should serve to stimulate economic growth and bring economic benefits to Southern California residents. This truly is a significant public policy milestone today before you, enhancing the quality of life for residents throughout Southern California. The draft support of greater housing production and hence affordability with the assurance of local control to better assess local needs and concerns. The revised language regarding housing is critically needed so we can meet housing goals and help assure that more of our working population can receive the many benefits of home ownership. The plan's economic analysis, which shows $2 in economic benefits for every dollar invested, meaning that the plan's $750 billion investment can be expected to yield $1.5 trillion in economic benefits to the region over the next 25 years life of the plan. Again, BIA Southern California appreciates your leadership and would urge support of the PEIR and Connect SoCal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's it. Now call on Sarah Jepson to give us a report. Patterson. Where did I get Jepson from? Yes,
Okay.
it's on the, yeah.
We want to go ahead and load the presentation. So I'm going to do the presentation for 2 and 3 combined. Good on that? Okay.
That is correct. We'll just take a separate vote on the item 2.
Right.
Okay. Very good. So before I begin the presentation, I do want to make a quick note that there are 2 minor errors in the agenda packet. On agenda packet page 41, the PEIR resolution includes a reference to Appendix X. It has since been corrected to read Appendix H. Also, on agenda packet page 282, slide 24, there was an error to the PEIR resolution number. It has since been corrected for this presentation, and you will receive a revised agenda packet after the meeting. The PEIR resolution number is correct in the rest of the agenda packet. So with those important details, I'll move on to talk a little bit more about our action today. Delayed. Very good. So today represents a major milestone in our ongoing regional planning process. Last month, SCAG staff presented a summary of the changes to the draft Connect SoCal 2024 to the Joint Policy Committee. Members discussed proposals for consideration in the next plan, including autonomous vehicles, urban air mobility, which we heard more about today at TC, the environment beyond climate change, and new mobility such as scooters. Other comments that we heard last month related to transit, including the time parity with driving, the need for safety, and consideration of metrics by which we measure the success of transit in our region. At the conclusion of that discussion, the Joint Policy Committee voted to recommend the Regional Council approve the proposed final 2024 Regional Transportation Plan / Sustainable Community Strategy, or Connect SoCal 2024. It also voted to approve the 2023 Federal Transportation Improvement Program, or FTIP, consistency amendment, and the associated proposed final transportation conformity analysis. Today, I will present to you the final proposed Connect SoCal 2024, which was made available to the public last Thursday. And prior to that, on Monday, March the 25th, SCAG posted the final PEIR and notified stakeholders. We'll be seeking 2 actions here today, one to certify the PEIR and the second to adopt Connect SoCal 2024. But first, I'd like to speak to the plan and what it means to the future of Southern California. So Connect SoCal 2024, as you've heard many times, is meant to serve as a compass. It is not prescriptive or regulatory, but provides guidance to align policies and investments across many agencies to achieve shared goals. Long-range planning and the process to develop the plan requires that we examine the existing conditions of where we are today. And to do this, we inventoried adopted local plans to understand each community's plan for the future. Then SCAG pursued research and analyzed trends to understand what the future could look like, and coordinated extensively with stakeholders across our region to understand where we collectively want to go. The final proposed plan meets all of our state and federal requirements. It will allow the region to continue moving forward with our much needed transportation projects. But it also serves as the compass for moving forward together and collaborating regionally, which is necessary to bridge the gap between where we can go alone or you can go alone with your cities and where we can go together. As an assembly of local governments, we are both local and regional at SCAG. During the Connect SoCal development process, the policy committees, our special subcommittees, and the Regional Council of SCAG have met to build consensus around the issues facing the region, issues that cross your local borders. SCAG takes a leadership role to develop a vision and goals and identify policies and strategies that can enable us to reach these goals and take advantage of the opportunities we have in the region, given our scale and diversity. As a regional planning agency, we lack some of the traditional plan implementation tools and rely on local jurisdictions and transportation agencies to implement the vision through their projects and programs. However, SCAG supports this implementation by providing policy leadership, research, and targeted resources. Finally, SCAG focuses on performance-based planning, which means that we evaluate and measure our progress towards these goals in order to adjust our policies and strategies. So as you can see here in our graphic, this work acts like a feedback loop, allowing us to continuously improve how all the pieces work together and to continue to move forward towards a more healthy region. For Connect SoCal 2024, our vision is for the future to be a healthy, prosperous, accessible, and connected region for a more resilient and equitable future. This is furthered by the 4 goals of our plan, or the key pillars of the plan: mobility, communities, environment, and economy. Once the plan is adopted, the real work begins, and we move forward to advance each of these goals. Connect SoCal outlines implementation strategies for SCAG to either lead, partner, or support other implementing agencies in moving toward the vision and goals. In the next couple slides, I want to provide a few highlights on the future we aim to realize and our role at SCAG in getting there. So for our mobility pillar, we anticipate a future that is much more multimodal. This means that people will have multiple options for getting from point A to point B, options that are safer and cleaner. To help us get there, we will be carrying out the following efforts highlighted on the slide, as well as many others that can be found in our implementation plan. So first, I want to highlight the Regional Safety Action Plan, which will provide a roadmap for new and ongoing safety strategies, identifying effective projects and policies informed by demonstration activities and ongoing engagement. This plan further will be an important resource so that our local agencies are eligible for federal funds for safe streets and roads. SCAG will also be funding projects for local communities through our Sustainable Communities program and an active transportation and safety call for projects that we will launch in June. SCAG will also be developing guidance for local jurisdictions to design and implement mobility hubs, which are locations where there are a range of transportation options that interact and interconnect with each other to support a more integrated, sustainable, efficient, multimodal transportation system. Also, we want to highlight the work that we'll be doing on Highways to Boulevard Regional Study, which is part of a nationwide movement to restore and reconnect communities that have been severed by the highway building through the 20th century and disproportionately impacted our communities of color. Finally, we wanted to highlight some exciting work that we'll be doing on our Smart Cities Strategic Plan that will build on the Connect SoCal guiding principles for emerging technology and develop a blueprint for the SCAG region and local jurisdictions to best prepare for and leverage new technology to support regional goals of mobility, communities, environment, and economy. For our communities, we're looking forward to a future that is more local and centered on communities, where people have access to what they need close to home. While we will continue to focus on the regional network, a freeway system, and commuter rail that allows us to travel great distances, we've been seeing a growing need to address local mobility needs. And this is really prompted by 2 trends that we've seen. First is one that comes out of the pandemic, which shifted many people's work and day-to-day orientation closer to home. And second is the policy mandate and moral imperative that we face in this region to build more housing. in every community. Many of our cities are looking for new mobility solutions to find ways to add housing, but without adding more cars and more congestion. A few areas where SCAG will work towards supporting local communities and local decision-making on these issues are by seeking partnership at all levels to address our housing needs, exploring best practices to support our cities and enabling 15-minute communities by bringing more destinations closer to homes, and developing an agency-wide community-based organization partnering strategy, building from our successful efforts with the Connect SoCal community partnership program to give local community members more voice in the change that's happening. For the environment, we're anticipating a more resilient and zero emission future where we transition away from polluting vehicles and can withstand potential near and long-term disruptions like climate change. Given the state's leadership and regulations related to the transition of light duty and heavy duty vehicles, it'll be necessary for SCAG to support our residents, local transportation agencies, and goods movement sector with this transition. We've had many conversations about that recently here at the Regional Council. For example, some of the activities that we'll be leading in the future are the Innovative Clean Transit Regional Assessment, which will assess the region's readiness for a zero emissions fleet conversion, identify best practices, and develop recommendations to support transit operators in this effort. We'll also continue our work on the zero emission truck infrastructure study, which will produce a blueprint and action plan for a regional network of zero emission charging and fueling infrastructure for medium and heavy duty trucks. And finally, we'll be working on the last mile freight program and continue those efforts to deliver significant near-term benefits through investment in both vehicle technology and supporting infrastructure, as well as through demonstrating efficiencies with innovative operations and demand management strategies. SCAG is also working to understand the economic benefits of our natural and agricultural lands through engagements with our stakeholders across the region, and we will continue our work on regional resilience and the region's water challenges. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the economy. Through this plan in our work, we are looking forward to a future that is more prosperous for all, where we support the region's diverse industries with an efficient transportation system and workforce development initiatives. In addition to supporting the transition to zero emissions, SCAG will also be supporting the goods movement sector through the development of a comprehensive, sustainable freight plan and through last mile freight planning. The freight plan will fulfill a commitment made by our regional council in the goods movement resolution and call to action to support the region's economic vitality, attainment of clean air standards, and quality of life for all of our communities. We'll also be focused on ways to foster the next generation of infrastructure and ensure equitable access to a more connected system by completing studies and assessments on broadband. As we move forward, all this work in mobility, communities, and environment, and the economy will work together to move us toward a brighter future for this region. The region faces many challenges that aren't constrained by local jurisdiction boundaries, like our traffic issues, or the poor air quality or racial inequities. Collaborating at the regional level can enable us to tackle these and other challenges by scaling up solutions and best practices across our hundreds of local agencies in Southern California. Overall, implementing our plan means that we'll be investing $751.7 billion to maintain our current network and provide more travel options throughout the region. More travel options include a regional express lane network, more bike lanes, transit service, and thousands of other projects that can be found in our plan. Implementing the plan means a more efficient development pattern where housing and jobs are located in areas with multiple transportation options and access to jobs and opportunities. This will lead to less delay in traffic and travel delay, reduce greenhouse gas emissions from our passenger vehicles, and direct economic benefits like new jobs for our investments and increased regional competitiveness. As a regional planning agency, as I mentioned earlier, SCAG does lack some of the traditional implementing tools like building new bike lanes or approving housing, but we still have many tools in our toolbox to support the implementation of the plan. Our implementation efforts will depend on the work of the Regional Council to collaborate and to build consensus on difficult and challenging policy issues that the region is facing. Our day-to-day work at the agency will include our role for federal funding administration. We will take a holistic and regional approach to our data collection efforts, analysis, and research, and we will partner with our local communities to offer technical assistance resources to help local governments chart their own path towards reaching these regional goals. This can also allow us to test out solutions locally that can be expanded region-wide. Our work to implement the plan will come in front of SCAG's decision-making bodies in the form of staff reports and proposed actions, and we look forward to working with all of our policy committees and the Regional Council to develop agendas that are engaging and help us move forward. Our work to implement in the near term to support the overall implementation of Connect SoCal happens here at SCAG, but also our local agencies will be working to approve development projects, and our county transportation commissions will be operating and completing transportation projects that are key to the implementation of this plan. As you are aware, the plan does trigger CEQA. And since 2012, we have met our CEQA requirements through a program level environmental impact report. The proposed final PEIR is brought for your consideration today, that we are bringing for your consideration today, complies with all the CEQA requirements. Public participation is a core part of our CEQA process. And since the beginning, we have leveraged and created opportunities to engage with stakeholders beyond the CEQA requirements and those of Assembly Bill 52. In attachment 1 to the PEIR staff report, you can get more details on this engagement. On March 7th, the Joint Policy Committee moved to recommend the Regional Council to certify the final PEIR for Connect SoCal 2024 at today's meeting. Since that Joint Policy Committee's recommendation, SCAG staff have made progress on 2 major milestones for the PEIR: completion and posting of the proposed final PEIR and additional CEQA required information. CEQA guidelines section 15088 requires providing a written response to comments made by public agencies at least 10 days prior to certifying the PEIR. On March 25th, 2024, staff posted the proposed final PEIR on SCAG's PEIR website, which includes response to comments for all the comments. This complies with the 10-day requirement under CEQA. The proposed final PEIR is comprised of 3 components: the complete draft PEIR combined with the 2 new chapters, Chapter 8, which is the response to comments, and Chapter 9 with the clarifications and the revisions. The complete proposed final PEIR includes 10 technical appendices and totals over 15,000 pages. CEQA requires additional information for the final PEIR to support RC decision-making related to the PEIR. These exhibits live outside the PEIR and attached to the draft resolution for the PEIR in today's agenda packet. They are not new information, but consolidated versions of analysis, conclusions, and mitigations found in the PEIR. So what comes next? Today, we are again seeking actions, 1 to certify the PEIR and the second to adopt Connect SoCal 2024. Pursuant to CEQA, the final PEIR must first be certified by the Regional Council prior to acting on Connect SoCal 2024. Once the Regional Council certifies the final PEIR, SCAG will file a CEQA notice of determination. For Connect SoCal, once the Regional Council adopts the plan, SCAG will submit the RTP and the FTIP consistency amendment to the respective state and federal regulatory agencies. So finally, before you consider the actions items here today, I do want to acknowledge that we had public comments that came in last night prior to the 5 p.m. deadline. And as you heard, there were several shared here today. Those that came in before the deadline were posted on SCAG's website and distributed to you electronically yesterday evening. While no responses are legally required for comments outside the PEIR and the planned comment period, which had ended mid-January, Our team did do some analysis and evaluation of the comments that came in, as well as what we heard here today. And we would like to share the following before you take action. First, I really want to thank those who've been involved in this process and appreciate the comments and acknowledge the importance of the active participation that we've had during this planning process. It makes the plan better. The comments received recently, from last night and today, do not raise any new concerns or topics that we have not previously addressed in our responses to comments, which are part of the proposed final plan and the PIR documents that were already published on our website. Furthermore, these comments do not raise any issues that will require a substantive change to the proposed final plan and PIR documents in front of you today. So I just as mentioned before at the beginning, please do note that there was a minor error in the agenda packet on page 282, slide 24 for the PIR resolution number. It has since been corrected for this presentation, and you will receive a revised agenda packet after the meeting. The PIR resolution number in the rest of your agenda packet is correct. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions or can over for the next steps.
Do we have any public comments on 2 and 3?
We do have a raised hand by Victor Reyes, and we do have some in the room as well.
Great. So just to make clear to folks, what we're doing here is offering the final opportunity for public comment before members of the RC ask questions and or deliberate this item. There were public comments called for on item 2, but because Ms. Jepson has offered a comprehensive report on items 2 and 3, we are requesting that public comment on 2 and 3 now be taken. So if you wish to speak on items 2 or 3, please, I see you here in your room raising your hand. If you are online, please also indicate, and the clerk will call you in due course. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Do I have anybody present that wishes to speak? Oh, Pam O'Connor?
Okay. Well, a momentous day. First of all, I want to congratulate Supervisor Hagman, Councilmember Allen, Councilmember Marquez for their nomination. I know you're going to be acting on that in the future. I'm very happy for them. Also, want to recognize the work of President Brown over the past year, working to bring the group together, the regional council members, policy committee members, working with stakeholders and staff to get to this point. So thank you for the work. I was president of SCAG in 2012 when we passed the first regional transportation plan that had a sustainable community strategy. And I'm happy to see that the robust process that started then has continued and has become even better because of the work that you all have done, engaging stakeholders, engaging community members throughout the 6-county region. I mean, talk about a heavy lift, 19 million people, 191 cities. You're doing great work. Again, that robust process really got us here. And it's a complicated process, as you all have learned, because it's policy, but it's also technical because it's rooted in the state and federal regulations. So again, kudos to the staff who deal with these very highly technical analyses that have to be gone through, who make them such that people can understand them. We people as policymakers, regular community members, and stakeholders throughout the community in different areas, from those who are proponents of biological resources to the business community and everybody in between. So again, thank you. This is probably the most consequential action that you take in your terms as regional council members. You do a lot of other work through the years, but this again, regional transportation plan with the sustainable community strategy is what is going to guide our region over the next 4 years. And to staff, thanks for your work. And maybe you have a day off, but they're going to be starting on the next regional transportation plan SCS probably this week. So thank you all, and I hope it's a unanimous vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Eli Lippman?
Good afternoon. How much time? Just 3? Okay, thank you so much. Eli Lippman, I'm the executive director for Move LA. We are a transit advocacy organization that organized the campaigns for Measure R, Measure M, Measure H, and several others, HLA in the city of LA. We're looking at a regional measure for the Southern California region on clean air and on Metrolink for 2026. So we do big stuff and big ideas. And I first want to thank the staff for not only engaging with us, but with the community in a conversation about Connect SoCal. So a huge kudos to Kome and his entire staff, and to Sarah for continuing to engage us. We hosted a public meeting with our members to discuss it and present it. So I really want to give kudos to the staff for really being aggressive, progressive, and working on this. And so I encourage you to approve this unanimously. That's my first word. My second word is about my trip last week with my 4 kids and wife to Utah. We went to Zion National Park. We rented e-bikes and rode all around the park on the bus and our e-bikes. And if they can do it, and we drove through many of your communities actually along the way. And not only last week did that happen, but I called into the Burbank City Council meeting to discuss doing a bus rapid transit project. And we're going to be working on extending the South Bay project into the Green Line. It's now your job. This does not get implemented unless you step up to the plate and unless you say yes to more bike lanes, yes to more bus lanes, yes to more bus transit, yes to more frequency and reliability, because we have a big job to do. If we do not mode shift, if we do not convince our constituents, your constituents, to take an alternative mode once a week, once a day, then we are not going to achieve this. So I implore you, contact me. I would love to come out to your city. I would love to organize in your city. We just did it in Burbank, to find those people out there who want better quality bus service, who want to walk to their kids to their schools, who want to take Metrolink to their jobs. There are people out there. I know they are. I know the loudest voice scream at you about parking and about more roadway projects and about wider roads, but we know what the solutions are. It's in this plan. So please work as hard as you can over the next 4 years so that we don't come back and say, we had a great plan, but nobody implemented it. And we're still stuck in the same problem that we were 4 years ago. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Online, Victor Reyes.
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Hello, my name is Victor Reyes, and I am here on behalf of the Valley Industry and Commerce Association to speak in support of the Connect SoCal plan, which emerges as a blueprint for the future designed to meet and exceed the rigorous standards set forth by the Federal Clean Air Act and California's greenhouse gas emission reduction goals. The visionary plan not only secures our region's eligibility for crucial state and federal transportation funds, but also lays the groundwork for addressing deeply entrenched challenges related to housing affordability, equity, and sustainability. By guiding household growth and bolstering regional planning, investments, and strategic implementation, Connect SoCal is poised to usher in new development. This plan has a commitment to, as already mentioned, a $750 billion investment towards the enhancement and maintenance of our transit systems, highways, and significant local streets and roads, ensuring a durable and efficient infrastructure for generations to come. Moreover, it champions workforce development in cutting-edge sectors such as zero-emission and clean transportation technologies. SoCal is not just a plan for today, but a commitment to a sustainable future for all Southern Californians. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker, Helen Higgins.
Good afternoon. My name is Helen Higgins, and I'm representing the Friends of Coyote Hills in Fullerton. We really appreciate having the chance to speak to you today on the 2024 Connect SoCal plan. I've been speaking before this body almost 5 years, so I'm really excited. It is a great opportunity for the environmental community because the environment is listed as one of the 4 core pillars of the plan, in addition to community, economy, and mobility. We welcome that these goals are recognized for their interconnectedness and not seen as separate entities. It is time for government and the community alike to be aligned on the value of protecting the environment, the same as it is to value the community, building the economy, and ensuring mobility for all. We will continue to support and promote SCAG's embracing of farmland and natural land policies to meet the overall goals of Connect SoCal 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Last speaker is Melanie Schlotterbeck.
Good afternoon, Chair and Regional Council members. My name is Melanie Schlotterbeck, and on behalf of the Natural and Farmlands Coalition, organized by Friends of Harbors, Beaches, and Parks, we do support the plan. This is mainly because the loss of habitat lands is less with the plan than without, and we continue to request active and direct policies, strategies, and mitigation measures that actually reduce the agricultural and biological resource impacts below a level of significance. I do want to give a shout out to staff for answering many of my questions over the last several months. I appreciate that time and energy. I do also appreciate the chance to comment on the plan and commend the community partnership process involving 16 organizations, 20 events, and 3,600 survey responses. However, we're disappointed by the particularly short review period, as evidenced by the fact that you only have 5 letters submitted on this today. The document availability and today's vote for final approval proved to be a short time period, and having over a weekend with a holiday hindered us and forced us to focus on only half the issues we actually cared about. One remaining concern I wanted to touch on was the fact that SCAG must deepen its analysis of sea level rise impacts on transportation and utilities infrastructure. This ongoing stressor requires robust policies and mitigation measures for resilience. Economic ramifications from infrastructure repairs to overall economic stability during sea level rise events further underscore the urgency of comprehensive planning. We commend SCAG staff for including the Fix It First policy, which prioritizes preventative maintenance over costly rebuilding. This has proven effective and should be continued. However, we urge SCAG to expand the policy to incorporate planning for the inevitable impacts of climate disasters on transportation assets, such as sea level rise, wildfires, and landslides. So to conclude, even with remaining concerns, we do appreciate the diligent work to create the plan, the responsiveness to many of our comments, and again, the Natural and Farmlands Coalition supports the plan and PEIR. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. That's it. Okay, I'll entertain comments from members of the RC. As a reminder, if a member of the body is attending remotely, but at the location specified on the agenda, they may observe but not participate in any discussion or voting of this body. If any members of the RC wish to make comments. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just was wondering if you could please address the comment, Dan Silver's comment concerning ramp.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I believe it was last year, the members of the regional council spent a lot of time working on what we called the Regional Advanced Mitigation Plan Technical Advisory Committee. And at that point in time, we developed what's called the RAMP Policy Framework, which outlines SCAG's role and responsibilities for advancing RAMP in the region. So our role, we're not an implementing agency. We will work with implementing agencies like a Metro or Orange County Transportation Authority, et cetera, to support the supplementing of their RAMP programs or establishing new RAMP programs in the region. So our role is really to provide the tools and the resources and the encouragement to support the implementing agencies and moving forward with RAMP programs. One of the ways that we're doing that is through the development of the Green Print tool, which I believe was in action here just at the beginning of the year. So we do play an important role, but it is in supporting those implementation agencies.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder to folks in the room, if you would just state your name before you offer comments so that people virtually know who's been speaking in the room. Thank you.
Lucy Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Lucy Dunn, I am the non-voting business representative for Regional Council. I am very pleased to report to you that in addition to my role serving as Regional Council's business representative, I'm also chair of SCAG's GLUE Council, which means Global Land Use and Economics Council, comprised of the business leaders from Southern California and the SCAG region. After 2 years, of working with staff and studying the SoCal Connect plan, I'm pleased to report that by consensus, the GLUE Council has unanimously agreed to support the Connect SoCal and appreciates very much working with staff and with Kome, with Sarah over the last couple of years to address issues and concerns. It is critically important for the economic prosperity of Southern California, and you've already heard several of GLUE Council members testify in support. But I wanted to let you know and highlight the attention that the memo from me as chair is included in your supplemental materials and outlines the business principles that were addressed, as well as ultimately support of this plan. And we would urge a support vote from the council. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. Deborah Roberts.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. President. First off, I just also would like to echo my support for the overall project, and just what Ms. O'Connor said earlier. Starting out with the very first one in 2012 has been was a struggle. We got it accomplished. We've had roads up and down, and I'm just really happy that we have more people now in support of moving forward on things. But I do have to say, from representing and coming in from San Bernardino County, and I'll be very quick, when I came to this area in 1988, first as the public affairs officer for Caltrans in San Bernardino and Riverside, one of my jobs was really to look at what was planned at the time of what was called the Foothill Freeway, which later and has since been built and became the 210 freeway. I appreciate what the gentleman said for Move LA, because I think while we've done a lot in terms of making things happen, there's still some things that I think we could do and continue to figure out how and what the costs, at least by putting it on the books. When I came, we had envisioned that there would be a rail system that would have ran down through the Foothill Freeway, better known as 210, all the way into San Bernardino County. I know it because we were preserving the corridor for that. Along the way, we've lost it, but we've had a great increase of people who are in the north end, north of the 10 and the 210. And as I look at these maps, I see that there's a recognition of still some type of a commuter rails and also even some rapid bus transit rails. And I would just hope that when we begin tomorrow, we work on looking at that and looking at how we need to realize that there's a need. We've managed to bring, I think, the goal line all the way in or close, try to get it to Montclair, but there was an original need. And as we've built out in that area, I think it continues to be a need. So Sarah, personally, I want to thank you for leading the staff and everybody and making this happen. And I'm really proud of the document. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Mr. Anthony? No, never mind. Okay, put his down. Anybody else online or here want to speak? I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution 24-664-1 and associated exhibits which reflect the following. Certify the final PEIR for Connect SoCal 2024. Adopt Exhibit A, mitigation monitoring.
There's one other speaker. sorry.
One other speaker, David Shapiro.
Oh, I was just gonna second because I saw Jose had already
Move
made
the item,
motion.
Mr. President.
So I was just
Okay.
gonna second the item. Thank you, Mr. President.
We have motion and a second, roll call.
Ashley Aiken,
Yes.
Damon Alexander,
Aye.
Cindy Allen. Aye.
City manager said she-
Valeria Mesqua, Adela Dadeseller, Constantine Anthony,
With an eye to the implementation of ramp, aye.
Elizabeth Becerra. Elizabeth Becerra. Gary Boyer,
Yes.
Art Brown,
Aye.
Wendy Bucknam,
Aye.
Jenny Crosswhite,
Yes.
Rick Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
John Dumitru,
Yes.
Keith Ike,
Yes.
Margaret Finley, Claudia Frometa,
Frometa Downey, yes.
John Gabbard,
Yes.
James Gaisley,
Gaisley, aye.
Marshall Goodman,
Goodman, aye.
Jan Harnick,
Yes.
Mark Henderson,
Yes.
Laura Hernandez,
Yes.
Mike Judge,
Yes.
Joe Kalmick,
Yes.
Trish Kelly,
Yes.
Kathleen Kelly,
Yes.
Tammy Kim,
Yes.
Lauren Clayman, Linda Krupa,
Yes.
Carlos Leon,
Yes.
Patricia Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Vianney Lopez,
Yes.
Clint Lorimore,
Aye.
Ken Mann,
Ken Man, yes.
Steve Manos,
Aye.
Ray Marquez,
Yes.
Andrew Maciel,
Yes.
Larry McCallan,
Yes.
Casey McKeon,
Yes.
Tim McOsker,
Yes.
Lauren Meister,
Yes.
Dennis Michael,
Yes.
Maria Nava Frolic,
Yes.
Frank Navarro, Luis Blancarte,
Pancarte, yes.
Gil Rebollar,
Yes.
Rocky Rhodes,
Yes.
Deborah Robertson,
Aye.
Celeste Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ali Saleh,
Yes.
Tim Sandoval,
Yes.
Andrew Sorega, Suli Saro,
Aye.
Zach Schwank,
Yes.
David Shapiro,
Yes.
Marty Siminoff,
Yes.
Jose Luis Solache,
Yes.
Hilda Solis, Karen Spiegel,
Yes.
Donald Wagner,
Wagner, aye.
Alan Wapner.
Yes.
Just confirming that that was a yes for Alan Wapner.
Yes.
Thank you. Jeff Wood,
Yes.
Frank Yokoyama.
Yes.
Mr. President, the motion for item 2 passes with 55 votes yes, 0 votes no, and 0 abstentions.
Thank you. We'll now take the consent calendar. Do we have any members of?
Yay.
Just a little thing. Okay, on the consent calendar, do we have any members of the public wish to speak on this item?
Mr. President, if I may note, Liz Becerra indicated that she couldn't put her audio, and she's a yes, if you'll accept the vote.
Yeah, I accept the vote, yes.
Thank you.
56 aye. Mr. President, if I may, before you call the consent calendar, I would like to present on
Yeah,
item
I'm
number
gonna go
1.
back to item 1.
Yep.
Now, and then we'll take 1, 3, and 4.
Correct.
Yes.
1, 3, and then the consent calendar.
Yes, 1, 3, and the consent calendar, yes. Okay, item 1, nomination elections of 24, 25 SCAG officers positions. Do we have any members of the public wish to speak on item 1?
No raised hand, Mr. President.
Okay, I will call Ruben Duran, Board Counsel, to present the item.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon again, members of the RC. In accordance with SCAG's bylaws, SCAG's nominating committee met in the month of March to consider nominations for your upcoming officer positions. Those are the president, first vice president, and second vice president. The nominating committee brings forward for your consideration the following names and positions. For the position of president, the Honorable Kurt Hagman, supervisor from San Bernardino County. For the position of first vice president, the Honorable Cindy Allen, vice mayor from the city of Long Beach and regional council district number 30. For the position of second vice president, the Honorable Ray Marquez from Chino Hills, RC district number 10. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President.
Okay, any, Deborah Robinson,
Oh, I think, yes, but I think
and then Frank Yoga. I just,
Frank was ahead of me.
this is, I saw him. Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, I would
And
just
then
wanted to
Frank's
say,
next.
I'd like to move the item.
Okay, Frank Yukiyama.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to congratulate the three recommended candidates. I'd like to congratulate Honorable Kurt Hagman and Honorable Cindy Allen and the Honorable Ray Marquez. SCAG is without a doubt well-positioned for the future with these three fantastic nominees to continue the leadership of SCAG. And I would be honored to second the motion.
Okay, first we have to get one thing straight. This is item 1, 3, and the consent calendar. Is that correct, Deborah?
Yes, that's.
Mr. Yokama?
That is correct, Mr. President.
Okay. Any comments? None? Roll call.
Ashley Aiken,
Aye.
Damon Alexander,
Aye.
Cindy Allen. Aye. Valeria Mesqua. Adele Andrade Stadler. Constantine Anthony. Elizabeth Becerra. Gary Boyer,
Yes.
Art Brown,
Aye.
Wendy Bucknam.
And yes, an excited aye. I'm excited for the future.
Thank you. Jenny Crosswhite,
Yes.
Rick Dennison,
Dennison, yes.
John Dumitru,
Aye.
Keith Ike,
Yes.
Margaret Finley, Claudia Frometa,
Yes.
John Gabbard,
Yes.
James Gaisley,
Aye.
Marshall Goodman,
Goodman, aye.
Jan Harnick,
Yes.
Mark Henderson. Mark Henderson,
Yes.
thank you. Laura Hernandez,
Yes.
Mike Judge,
Yes.
Joe Kalmick,
Yes.
Trish Kelly,
Yes.
Kathleen Kelly,
Yes.
Tammy Kim,
Aye.
Lauren Clayman,
Yes.
Linda, thank you. Linda Krupa,
Yes.
Carlos Leon,
Yes.
Patricia Lock Dawson,
Aye.
Vianney Lopez,
Yes.
Clint Lorimore,
Aye.
Ken Mann,
Yes.
Steve Manos,
Aye.
Ray Marquez,
Yes.
Andrew Maciel,
Yes.
Larry McCallan,
Yes.
Casey McKeon,
Yes.
Tim McOsker,
Yes.
Lauren Meister,
Yes.
Dennis Michael,
Yes.
Maria Nava Frolic,
Yes.
Frank Navarro, Luis Blancarte,
Blancarte, yes.
Gil Rebollar,
Yes.
Rocky Rhodes,
Yes.
Deborah Robertson,
Aye.
Celeste Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ali Saleh,
Yes.
Tim Sandoval,
Yes.
Andrew Sorega, Suli Saro,
Aye.
Zach Schwank,
Yes.
David Shapiro,
Yes, yes, and yes.
Marty Siminoff,
Yes.
Jose Luis Solache,
Yes.
Hilda Solis, Karen Spiegel,
Yes.
Donald Wagner,
Wagner, aye.
Alan Wapner,
Yes.
Jeff Wood,
Yes.
Frank Yokoyama.
Yokoyama, yes.
Mr. President, the motion for item 1, 3 in the consent calendar passes with 55 votes yes, 0 votes no, and 0 abstentions.
Madam Clerk, if I may, my vote is yes. Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry, can you say that, who that was?
Councilwoman Becerra?
I will note your vote as a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. With that vote, the Regional Council's recommendation to the General Assembly will be presented with the following slate of officers there on your screen for approval in Palm Desert next month. Thank you. Them's the rules.
Okay. What I now receive reports from the business representative, the president, and executive director. Before we begin, do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on these items?
Raise hands.
None? I'll call on our business representative, Regional Council Member Lucy Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. President. My report are the last 3 pages of the agenda. The couple of items, just in the interest of time, just to raise for your attention. It's interesting to me that the kitchen table issue among family and friends, in addition to business leaders, is the implosion of California's insurance market. It's something that I think we need to take a closer look at when our condominium projects can't get insurance in order to get them, get people housed. But now we're seeing the insurance market also impact the office marketplace as well. So keep an eye on that one. I think maybe we might need to do like a deeper dive into how to help our insurance commissioner pass the regulations that he needs to keep our insurers here in the state. He's taking 15 months to do something that some experts think can get done in 15 days. And so something that's critically important to housing as a key principle, a key objective for the Southern California region. One item that's hot off the press is to share with you is that HCD just came out with their dashboard. They have just recently declared, as of today, looking through just quickly through some of their dashboard numbers, with since 2017, with over 200 new housing laws, in 2023, our actual housing units have collapsed to a 10-year low as of April 1st of 2023. Even we heard a great presentation with Frank Yokohama's committee on ADUs. ADUs have increased, but it seems to be masking the drop in multifamily and single family units. Commend Mayor Bass, because her executive directive 1 seems to have facilitated expedited shelter and 100% affordable housing projects that by right development, which has eliminated some regulatory burdens and streamlined approvals in issuance of building permits. We might want to, certainly the business community and Glue Council, we might want to take a deeper dive look into that and see if there's any way there are lessons to be learned there. I share all that with you because it continues to be a tough issue for us, and it's a major component of making transportation, housing, it all work in Southern California. But with that, I will just be open for questions from any item in my report, and am always honored to be a resource to this council. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Lucy. Any questions for? None? Okay, go to my report. There's still time to register for SCAG's 59th Annual Regional Conference and General Assembly. The event is May 2nd and 3rd at the JW Marriott Desert Springs Resort and Spa in beautiful Palm Desert. This event is a unique opportunity to gather with elected officials and business and community leaders across the region. The full event agenda is now posted, including panels on topics related to implementation of the vision of Connect SoCal 2024. Online registration ends April 26th. I was pleased to join the SCAG delegation of leaders for the annual Sacramento Summit at the State Capitol on March 19th and 20th. This year's trip focused on three important goals: protecting the Regional Early Action Planning Grant Program 2.0 from proposed budget cuts, supporting Assembly Bill 2485 to increase transparency and accuracy in the regional housing needs assessment determination, honoring the promise to fund active transportation programs and infill infrastructure grant programs to support regional goals on climate and housing safety. I want to thank First Vice President Kirk Hagman, Second Vice President Cindy Allen, Immediate Past President Jan Harnick, and all the regional council members and staff who joined me in advocating for Southern California. The next meeting of the Regional Council is scheduled for Thursday, May 2nd at 9 a.m. at the JW Resort in Resort and Spa in Palm Desert. We'll now call on Komi Ajisi, our Executive Director, for his report.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I want to congratulate all of you, the Regional Council, on the actions you took just a few minutes ago. I think it's a culmination of the work that we do at SCAG and one of the more important things that we do at SCAG. So appreciate your leadership in guiding us to this point. There were a lot of touch points with this council all the way through to this point. So we really appreciate that leadership and the important vote that you took. I also will be remiss if I don't recognize our team and the work that it did, but also the stakeholders that we had. All of the stakeholders, you heard from some of them. Some of your staffs were also involved in this collective effort. We had a total team effort to get to this point, and but it's always hard to single out people, but I think it's appropriate at this point to know that there were folks that were herding cats, and I want to single out Sarah Dominguez and Karen Calderon for their work respectively on. You can stand up and be recognized. Go ahead, stand up so they know who you are, Karen. And yeah, they individually led the efforts on the plan and the PIR respectively. Last month, I talked to you about the EPA proposed disapproval of the Air District's Air District's air plan on the 97 ozone standard. We're still dealing with that. We're collectively as a region, we've come together and are on the same page in our approach to the EPA. And we submitted letters this week to the EPA, essentially asking them to not disapprove the plan because it does trigger a highway sanction which means if that goes into effect as fully as it could, it would mean that we would have no federal action on projects that are not exempt under the Federal Clean Air Act. And so we're asking the EPA to relent on their action to disapprove, or if anything, maybe partially approve, or so that we can continue to work together on pathways to resolve the underlying issues that prompted the conversation we're having with them in the first place. So we'll keep you posted on how that goes. The EPA has until July 1st to make that decision, and we'll keep you apprised of developments in that area. The other big thing that's happening in our world is REAP 2.0. As previously reported to you, the governor's proposed budget that was put out in January seeks to reduce our REAP program by half. And so that's compelled us to put all projects that we had been working on hold. We feel like the REAP program was at least in our region, had been really elegantly designed to do the work that it needed to do to promote housing production. And we were all well on our way and had suballocated $193 million, which I found out also leveraged another $115 million to the tune of over $300 million that was in play already before the announcement came to cut the program in half. If the program were cut in half, that would mean we would be left with only $123 million, which is less than what we've already obligated in our program. So we have a full court press, and the president talked about our trip to Sacramento. I think we had a lot of good reception from the legislators and their staff on the REAP program, and we'll continue to push on that front to see how we restore some of those resources, if not in the immediate year as intended originally, maybe over time, given that we do in fact have a budget deficit. So we'll again keep you posted on how that goes. Lastly, in fact, on the REAP program, for those who might be interested to know how much work we had done collectively with local agency staff, in your packages, you'll see a listing of those projects. There's about 118 individual projects that are listed that we had began to work on and would have, I think, when implemented, will make a substantial difference in our region. So we'll keep you posted on how this develops. And with that, I will end my remarks and be glad to take any questions, Mr. President.
Any questions? I'm going to take one more bite of the apple. I want to thank all of you for passing the 2 items today. They're very important. I want to thank you for reading your agendas, understanding what was going on, participating in the committee meetings. I want to really thank staff for everything they've done to make this possible. Because while we set policy, staff does all the hard work. I want to thank them for going out and meeting with the various COGs and agencies. They did a great job this year to get this prepared. The business people were on our side, so were the environmentalists. So I think we've done an excellent job. I think there's a Navy expression, bravo Zulu, which means a job well done. You all deserve that today. Thank you very much. And is there any future agenda items? Margaret Clark? Margaret?
Yes, I'm very
Yeah.
sorry by vote. There weren't enough bodies of you in the meeting, so I wasn't able to vote, but I would have voted very strongly for the candidates and the everything we passed. It's wonderful. So thank you so much.
President privilege, I'll accept your vote. So you voted.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Any announcements? Yes, go ahead.
Lauren Meister, City of West Hollywood. I just wanted to announce that on Saturday, April 20th, the City of West Hollywood is hosting a WaterWise Waterworks Symposium, where we will explore the fundamental role that water plays in supporting life in the city and examine the key challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. We have a number of wonderful presenters, but I also just wanted to give a shout out to Kim Clark, who will be participating, our very own SCAG planning supervisor. And we thank her for participating in our symposium. I hope maybe you can join us. And we will be taping it. So if you can't join us, you can watch the recording and we'll get it out to SCAG. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I hate to tell you this, but you're getting out of here 40 minutes early.